Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Fire Coaching. My name is Joseph Peoples. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. I've got a very powerful lesson plan for you this week. This is week 7 in the identity reset model. So this week we're going to be talking about building the version of you that wins, or your future self blueprint. So who is this for? Well, if you've ever said, I know who I want to be, but I keep living the old me, then this week is about to change your life because your future self is not a mood, it's not a vision board, it's not a motivational quote. It is a system. And we all know that systems work. So when you build this system within yourself, you're going to stop relying on willpower. Okay. Now, what most people do is they imagine a future self and they keep the old rules. They keep the old routines, they keep the old boundaries, and they keep an old environment. So, because they do that, the old identity wins. This week, we work on doing the opposite. We build a future self operating system, a blueprint you can actually live. Now, this system has 4 parts. It's going to be rules, routines, boundaries, and proof. So, rules, routines, boundaries, and proof. Why rules? Rules are identity standards. Rules remove decision fatigue. Future self rules sound like I don't negotiate my sleep. I don't argue while activated. I don't keep temptations in my environment. I do what I say I would do on a daily basis. Now, these rules are not punishment, they're for protection. Okay. Now, the second part is routines. Now, routines are the daily reps that provide identity. Okay, we're not looking for perfection. Okay, so we wanted to have things that are repeatable. So your future self has a few simple routines. Morning reset. What's a morning reset? Well, it could be anything from doing deep breathing to doing yoga, something that brings you some peace and gets you prepared for the day. Prayer is a big one. Prayer is probably the most important one in my life, and I would hope it is in yours, but that's not for me to push on you. Now, another routine would be movement. So, some sort of exercise. A lot of people will, hit that snooze button. They'll stay in bed, and it's better to just get up and get moving around. Okay, so another part of your routine should be nourishment. Eat proper. Don't be eating a bunch of junk in the morning and then wondering why you're not feeling good during the day. Focused work. Make sure whatever you're working on, you're focused on. Because if you're not focused on it, then you're probably not going to accomplish it, right? And then reflect. Reflect on what worked during the day, reflect on what didn't work during the day, because if you know where you are struggling, then you know where you need to improve. Very simple. And so make sure these small routines are done consistently until they become a part of who you are, and you can just kind of do them without thinking about them. Now, boundaries are important because boundaries protect the blueprint because you can't build a new identity in the same environment that feeds the old one. So you've got to build that new identity in the same environment. Boundaries might include things like who you spend your time with, who you allow in your house, what conversations you will and won't have, and what you do and what you don't do when you're triggered. Now, boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are leadership. They're leadership not only for yourself, but for others. Okay. So the last one is proof, and proof is the receipts. So every day you've done one future self action, even if it's small, record it because this is evidence for your brain. And this whole purpose of this program is to create the evidence that you need to build this new identity and to build your future operating system or your future self operating system is very important in this. I mean, every lesson that we go through is important, but this is really one that will stick out to you and will really help you along the way when you enforce it. Okay, not if you enforce it, but when you enforce it. Now, understand that language is pretty powerful. This week, my wife and I were having a discussion, and she said something, and I said, we probably shouldn't say stuff like that in front of our daughter. She was upset about something, and it's understandable that we say things that we don't mean or don't mean to say when we're upset, right? And she said, well, they're just words. And, I had to come back at that statement with, words are so much more than words. Words are directions that we're giving ourselves. They're things that other people interpret. Just because they're not offensive to person A doesn't mean they're not offensive to person B. And so we've really got to hone in on the way that we're talking, not only to ourselves internally, but how we talk about ourselves and others internally and externally, because it does have a mental, emotional, even a physical and a spiritual effect on us. And when we're not operating from that mindset, when we're not aware of what we're doing and what we're saying and how it may affect those around us, that's dangerous territory. Now, I'm not saying this in any way to belittle my wife. I'm just as guilty of doing the same thing. Okay. I'm not perfect in any way, but I do my best to try and be at least 1% better each and every day that God gives me a breath to breathe. And so that's the point of why I'm saying this. Yeah, I love my wife. She's an amazing woman, and I'm very blessed to have her in my life. Now, that being said, I want you guys, if you want help with this, to reach out to me. My Calendly will be in the description below in the video. I will also put in the worksheet that you guys can download. I was doing a separate video on that, but I think it's just easier if I just put it down in the thing and let you guys download it. And then if you want me to go over it live, or if you want me to do a video on it, let me know in the comments. If that's helpful to you, then I'm more than willing to do that. If not, I know rather, that I'm going to do more videos to help you guys throughout the week instead of just doing it once weekly. And please, guys, remember to like and subscribe if this content helps you or helps somebody else, or if you just enjoy it. And that's going to help me get on the algorithm, get noticed, it'll help my channel grow, and then I can help other people with this content and this type of content. Um, with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off for today. And I will do my best to have some more videos up this week. They might be shorts, they might be longs. Long content format seems to be the direction that YouTube is going right now. And so maybe long form is better. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I tend to be seeing. So I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video.